Good morning, students. Today we have to discuss the applications of dimensional analysis. There are three applications of dimensional analysis. First one is dimensional analysis is used to convert a physical quantity from one system to the other system. Number two, it is used to check the dimensional correctness of a given relation. Number three, to derive the relation between different physical quantities. So one by one we have to discuss that three different uses. Use number one. Use number one is to convert a physical quantity from one system to the other system. A physical quantity is given in one system, that because you know the systems of units, there are CGS system, FPS system, MK system and SI system. In one system of unit, the physical quantity is expressed. We have to convert it into the another system by help of dimensional analysis. How it is done? Suppose you know a physical quantity is expressed by a number and a unit. Suppose if you talk about the 5 kg. If you talk about the 5 kg, 5 is the number and kg is the unit in a system. In a similar manner, if you talk about one physical system, you take it as the x. So physical system x, physical quantity x, which can be expressed as n1 is the number and m1, l1, t1. That is m1 to the power a, l1 to the power b, t1 to the power c. If it is expressed, because this is the unit and this is the number, it is expressed in one unit, one system of unit, and that same physical quantity is expressed in another system of unit. So it will be the n2 is the number, and m2 to the power a, l2 to the power b, and t2 to the power c. That means today a, b, c are the dimensions of that physical quantity. On the left side, n1 is the number quantity and this is the unit in one system, and n2 will be the another number in the second system of unit, and this part is your, that is the unit. So both the equations are same when you are converting, and the formula you are getting n2 equal to n1 m1 upon m2 upon a, l1 upon l2 upon b, l1 upon l2 upon b, and t1 upon t2 upon to the c. This is the formula. That formula you have to use it and you can find these values. Suppose for example, convert 1 joule of work into org. Convert 1 joule of work into org. Because in one system, in MK system, it is given 1 joule, and in CG system, how much amount of org will be there, that you have to find out. Means joule is in one system and org will be in the another system. So here we can do it like that. We can do it. Suppose system number 1. System 1, that is MK system, is given, and system 2, that is the CGS system. And the physical quantity 1 joule equal to, actually it is the physical quantity is the work. So I am writing work is the physical quantity. Work equal to m1 l1 t minus 2. Sorry, m1 l2 t minus 2. That is the work. m1 l2 t minus 2, and you are finding it here in system number 1. The mass m1 is given because it is MK system. m1 equal to 1 kg and l1 equal to 1 meter, t1 equal to 1 second, and n1 equal to 1, that is 1 joule. And the another system m2, we know it, m2 equal to 1 gram, l2 is 1 centimeter, and t2 is 1 second, and n2 is how much, that you have to find out. And here you are finding a equal to 1, b equal to 2, c equal to C equal to minus 2. C equal to minus 2. So if you apply this formula directly, you can do it. M2 equal to M1, M1 upon M2 to the power A, L1 upon L2 to the power B, T1 upon T2 power C, and this equal to, what is value of N1? N1 equal to 1, M1 equal to, because the unit which is given, that should be written on the system number 1. The unit which is given, that should be given written in the system number 1, and other unit what to which unit you want to convert it, that should be written on the system number 2. So N1 is 1, M1 will be 1 kg upon 1 gram, and A equal to 1 meter upon 1 centimeter, and that B is 2, 1 second upon 1 second, C equal to minus 2. And you are finding, because 1 kg equal to 1000 gram, 1000 gram upon 1 gram, 100 centimeter by 1 centimeter, that is 2, second cancel, and this will be equal to, the gram cancels, so you are finding 10 to the power 3 into, here centimeter is cancelled, you are finding 10 to the power 4, because 100 to the power 2, 10 to the power 4, and you are finding 10 to the power 7. So how you are converting it? The 1 joule is 10 to the power 7 org. In this manner, you are getting the that we are converting 1 joule of work, that is equal to 10 to the power 7 org. That is the first use to convert a physical quantity from one system to the another system. The important thing, whenever you are solving, you will solve the numericals directly write the formula, and you write the physical quantity, take the dimension of physical quantity, whatever you are finding 1, 2, minus 2, that will be placed in A, B, C, and the unit whichever is given, that will be written on the one side, M1, L1, T1, and what you have to obtain it, that should be written in the M2, L2, T2. In this manner, we can convert the value of a physical quantity from one system to another system. Use number 2. What will be the use number 2? Use number 2 is telling to check the correctness of a given relation. That you want to check the correctness of a given relation. Suppose use number 2, you have to check the correctness of a given relation. Use 2. That is to check the correctness of a given relation. How to check the relation is correct or not? Because the relation which is dimensionally correct or not, that should be checked by using the principle. That principle is called the principle of homogeneity. Homogeneity principle. Homogeneity principle. What is that the homogeneity principle? What it tells? The homogeneity principle tells, if you are having one relation, the dimensional formula of all the terms of a correct relation on either side are same. That means to tell, suppose the relation you take it as A plus BC plus D, like that. That is equal to AB plus M, like that. If you are finding the relation is like that. If this relation will be the correct one, if the dimensional formula of all the terms must be same. Because how many terms are there? On the left side you are finding one term, this term, this term, and this term, this, and this is also term, this is also term. On either side of the relation, if this will be the correct one, if the dimensional formula, suppose if you take the dimensional formula of A, that must be equal to dimensional formula of C, BC, that must be equal to dimensional formula of D, and that must be equal to dimensional formula of AB, and that must be equal to dimensional formula of N. If all the terms will have the same dimensional formula, then the relation is dimensionally correct. We have to apply this principle whenever you want to check the correctness of a given relation, how it is. For example, you take it. For example, check the correctness of a given relation dimensionally. Check the relation. So the question, check the relation. Check the relation S equal to UT plus half AT square. Check the relation S equal to UT plus half AT square dimensionally. So just students, just you look on that how many terms are there in that relation. S1 relation, one term is S, another term is UT, and this is another term. Three terms are there. If you take the, because the symbols have their usual meanings, you know it from the class, previous class. S is the distance, U is the speed, T is the time, and A is the acceleration. Accordingly, you take the dimensional. If you take the dimensional formula of S equal to L1. Dimensional formula of UT equal to, because U is the speed, initial speed you are telling, LT minus 1, and T is the T, and this is equal to L1, because T minus 1, T plus 1, that is getting cancelled. Another is the dimensional formula of half AT square, this equal to, because half is the constant, dimensionless constant. Half is a dimensionless constant. In place of half, you can write, or if you write, you can write the M0, L0, T0, you can write for the half also, because it is a dimensionless quantity. And acceleration equal to LT minus 2. Acceleration is LT minus 2, and T square will be equal to T2. And if you just add it here, you are getting L, T minus 2, T plus 2, that is getting T1. So what you are finding, all the three terms, S, UT and half AT square, all the three terms having the same dimensional formula, L1. Here in this case you are finding L1, and here is also L1. Hence all the terms having the same dimensional formula, hence the relation is dimensionally correct. And we can use for the, you can just go for the third use. What is the third use? The use 3, what you are telling it, to derive the relation between various physical quantities. We want to find out the relation between the various physical quantities. How? Use 3. What it is telling? How the relation can be set off by help of the dimensional analysis. How the relation can be set up with dimensional analysis. For example, derive the expression, if the question is telling like that, derive an expression of the centripetal force acts on a body of mass m, which moves in a circle, of radius r with velocity v. The question is that just find out the expression of a centripetal force which acts on a body of mass m, which moves in a circle of radius r with velocity v. Suppose what happens here? Suppose a stone is tied to a string and is rotating in a circular path. What will happen? Because the centripetal force acts on that stone, and that centripetal force which acts along the radius toward the center. The question is telling that find the expression of the centripetal force, which is depending upon the following quantities. What are the quantities? It depends upon the mass, depends upon the radius, and depends upon the v. If the centripetal force is depending upon 3 quantities, you write and express it. How we can write it here? Because centripetal force, F centripetal, you take it, F centripetal force is directly proportional to it is depending upon m. We are writing the depending upon m. How it is depending, we don't know. It is depending upon m. How it is depending, we don't know. Either it is directly proportional or inversely proportional. You do not know. So so we can put the unknown quantities, dimensionless quantity a here, m to the power a. If a will be the plus 1, it is depending directly with the mass. Or if a will be the minus 1, so it is depending inversely to the mass. So similarly, centripetal force depends upon the radius r to the power b, and centripetal force is depending upon the velocity, that is v to the power c. If you combine all these three, we are finding F centripetal force equal to K m to the power a, r to the power b, and v to the power c. Here the K, A, B, C are the dimensionless constant. These are only simply the number. K is the dimensionless, proportionality constant is the dimensionless, A, B, C, T, no, these three are the dimensionless quantities. So we are finding the expression like that. We do not know that what is the A, B, C. That C indicates the centripetal force. So if you take the dimension on both the sides, you take the left side and right side, what will be the, if this relation will be correct, if you want to find the correct relation, the dimensional formula on either side will be the same. So what is the dimensional formula? Taking dimensions on both sides. Taking dimensions on both sides. Taking dimensions on both sides. What will happen? Because force, you know the dimensional formula of force, m1, L1, T minus 2. That is the dimensional formula of force. And this is equal to, what is the dimensional formula of K? The dimensional formula of K is m0, L0, T0. It's not necessary to write it. What is the dimensional formula of M? M, and power is A. And what is the L? Power is B. And what is the V? V is the LT minus 1, power is C. And this is equal to, we are finding this is equal to M to the power A, L to the power B here, and we are finding LC here. L to the power B plus C, and T to the power minus C. Because the both the terms, left side and right side, are the relation is correct, the dimensional formula on the left side must be equal to the right side. So just compare the dimensions. We are getting comparing dimensions. Comparing dimensions. So are you getting it? A equal to, this A will be 1. A equal to 1, and that B plus C will be equal to 1, B plus C will be equal to 1, and minus C equal to minus 2. So minus C equal to minus 2. And you are getting 3 questions here. And from, if you solve it, easily you can solve it. So by solving you are getting A equal to 1, clear, and C equal to 2, and if you put the 2 here, so what will be the B? So B plus 2 equal to 1 and B equal to minus 1. B equal to minus 1. B equal to minus 1. We are finding A equal to 1, B equal to minus 1, C equal to 2. If you put these values in this equation, this is if you take out the equation number 1. So if you find these values, so F centripetal force, F equal to, how much you are finding? K, m to the power 1, r to the power b is the minus 1, and v to the power 2, and this is equal to k mv square upon r. Hence the centripetal expression of the centripetal force equal to F equal to k mv square upon r. So the students, just you mind it, in dimensional analysis, or in dimensional analysis we cannot find the value of this k, because this k, that is the proportionality constant, cannot be determined by help of this dimensional analysis. So this value of k can be obtained by experimental performance. So that the final result is F equal to, we keep the result like that, F equal to k mv square by r. Actually, you know that expression for the centripetal force F equal to mv square by r. mv square by r, but in case of the dimensional analysis, we cannot calculate, we cannot find the value of numerical value of k, that proportionality constant. This is all about the three uses to convert the physical quantity from one system to another, and to check the correctness of a given relation and to derive the relation, and you just solve many and many questions basis on these three uses, and then it will be practiced more. Thank you.